Hello everyone, this is Smriti back again, TGT Science from SR International School, and the next chapter that we're studying today is Sources of Food. We have already discussed about components of food, or yet we'll next be discussing about components of food. But before discussing about that, let's come on to sources of food. That is, from which all sources do we obtain food? We are again and again discussing and speaking of the word food and sources of food and components of food, but what is this food? What is its use? Why it is required by our body? Well, food is actually required by our body for n number of reasons, for n number of functions it performs. Food provides a body with energy. Food helps in repairing of the worn out tissues. Food helps in providing our body with certain nutrients, certain things, certain components which help in growth and development of our body. It helps in fighting up of various diseases, and that's why, as during this pandemic is very well said, take more and more of food, healthy food, vitamins and minerals, so that it can make your immune system strong in order to fight with any sort of virus. Let's discuss more about that. When we discuss about food, we must know one more concept and one more important term than that is ingredient. What is an ingredient? Supposingly, I am fond of eating vegetable curry, right? So what will be the ingredients? Like, to be honest, I'm not a good cook, but still, if I just speak up from the nutshell, I would require spices, salt, vegetables, water, a bit of cooking oil, right? That's all. And therefore, these all things, when they combine together, they will make up my dish or my vegetable curry or my food item. So all the things which a food item comprises of, or the things which mix up or combine to make up the food item, will be termed as ingredients. Like, as in here, I took an example of making up a vegetable curry, salt, spices, water, cooking oil, vegetables, etc. All these things, they were my ingredients. Now coming on to sources of food, as the chapter very well says. So sources of food comes in two main ways, that is plant source as well as animal source. When we discuss about plant source, we all know that plants prepare their food with the help of carbon dioxide and water and minerals in the presence of sunlight, and that process is known as photosynthesis, and that's how green plants make their own food, and therefore they are autotrophs, they are producers, they are capable of making their own food. But when we talk of humans, we are generally dependent on plants, as in herbivores, they take in food from the plants itself, and then coming on to carnivores, which obtain meat, and then coming on to omnivores, which feed on both, that is on herbivores as well as on carnivores, taking in plants even and taking in animals as in flesh even. Jumping again back to our same topic which we were discussing, that is food obtaining by plants. Even plants, they provide us with different food items. Let's see in what all ways. Like, as we discuss and as we talk about, I say, roots of the plant. Even certain roots of the plant, when it produces their food, they store some of their food into those roots, and those roots are thus known as storage roots, and that's what we eat as our food. For example, radish, for example, turnip, beetroot, carrot, etc. Similarly, when we speak of stems, even stems, they provide us as food. They act as our food or as a source of our food, as in there are certain plants which store their excess food into their stems, such as potatoes, such as turmeric, such as ginger, etc. Next is some plants as flowers. There are certain flowers of some of the plants which we obtain as food, such as rose. Now you must be wondering, how come rose? We obtain gulkand from rose, which people often use in certain food dishes. Then we talk of broccoli, right, as a flower, as a cauliflower as a flower, and that's all we obtain. Cauliflower is something which is not liked by many children, but then it's one of the example, one of the vegetable that we obtain from plants as a source of food, as a flower. Next, discussing about, I say, fruits, right? Mango, pineapple, lychee, and like any of the fruit that you name, they are all fruits from the plant as a plant source that we all obtain. Next, coming on to leaves. Leaves such as spinach, mint, lettuce, they all act as a source of food from the leaves that we obtain as our source of food from the plants. One more is left, and that is seeds. Even seeds, they provide us food. They act as our source of food and are obtained from plants, such as mustard seeds, such as groundnut seeds, such as coconut seeds even. I mean, there are n number of seeds from which we obtain food, or we obtain products which we consume as food for ourselves. Next, coming on to food products from animals. Talking about animal as a source of food, let's discuss about some animal products which we intake as our source of food. First, talking about milk. Certain animals such as cows or buffaloes, they provide us with milk, and this milk can be consumed as raw, or even certain food items are made out of milk such as curd or cheese or butter or ghee, etc. Next, talking about meat and eggs. Certain animals, they provide us with meat and eggs which is utilized by humans as a source of food. The animals which are capable of providing us with meat and eggs both, they are known as poultry animals. Next, discussing about fishes. Many of the people, they consume fish as a whole as their source of food. Along with that, even certain fishes such as shark and codfish, they provide cod liver oil, which is very good for eyesight and for other basic and for maintaining the other basic necessities of our human body. They make us strong somewhere or the other. Therefore, even fishes can be considered as a source of food. Next and last, discussing about honey. Honeybees also act as a great source of food. As honeybees, they provide us with honey, which we all obtain in, which we all intake in place of sugar or sugary items, and that is considered even more healthier. Last but not the least topic of the chapter, that is how different animals, they intake food. For example, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, as well as we'll talk about scavengers. So let's just have a brief brush up over all these terms, that is herbivore starting off with. So who's an herbivore? Herbivore is other animals who intake plant and plant products. They are all termed as herbivores. Next, talking about carnivores. Who are carnivores? The animals who feed on flesh and meat parts of other animals, they are known as carnivores. Talking about omnivores. Omnivores are a combination of herbivores and carnivores. As omnivores, they feed on both plant products as well as meat, that is animal products. Now there comes a point, one more term, that is scavengers. So what's the basic difference between an omnivore and a scavenger? Omnivore, they feed on flesh as well as plant, both products, whereas when we talk of scavenger, scavengers feed on the dead remains of animals. For example, eagle, crow, they are all scavengers. Whereas when we discuss now, like as we have discussed about all these terms, talking about herbivores or carnivores or omnivores, when these all they combine together and they're linked with each other, they form the food chain. One very last topic for our today's class, and to complete the lecture, let's have a treat. And the treat is, there are 4 terms which I would like to clear up. Like many of the students in the class, when I see them discussing about are you a non-vegetarian or are you a vegetarian, and then they get confused. Ma'am, I eat eggs, but I don't know in which category do I lie. Do I lie in vegetarian category or I lie in non-vegetarian category? Well, there are certain different terms for different kinds of eaters. A person who consumes plant products along with the milk is considered a vegetarian. A person who consumes non-vegetarian, that is meat and chicken and all such stuff, will be considered a non-vegetarian. A person who consumes milk and eggs along with vegetarian things will be termed as an ovo-lacto-vegetarian. And whereas a person who does not consume milk or eggs or meat and only feed on plant and plant products will be termed as a vegan. Hope this was beneficial for you all. Any problem in the chapter, you're free to discuss in the class, or else you will write down your comment in the comment box below. Thank you. Have a great day.